Welcome back. In this episode series here, I'm going to be basically taking my existing table saw sleds here and modifying it to, well, not really modifying, I'm going to be cutting in half so I can use it on one guide or the other guide. So I'm just taking what I have and just using it. It's good for some things, like I can modify and put a 45 degree on one of the halves and be able to do a 45 on the table saw if I wanted to. Make a unstraight board and cut it to a straight board. Just other things I can do with it. So in my other future episodes here, I will be making a new table saw sled here, because of the distance between the two guides are different from my previous table saw. I'll just have to build a whole new one. So yay, good for me. So anyways, if you've seen my review on this table saw here, which is on a whole different video series, you know what's going on with this. And even if you had a perfect table saw anyway, I highly recommend a table saw sled. It's, for my opinion, it just seems to be a little bit safer as far as operation and use for the user. So anyways, let's get started. I'm just going to take the existing sleds I have, or at least one of them, probably the rip sled I have, and basically cut it in half and use it for this. So okay. Alright, here you go. You're in. Okay. Alright, so here it is. This is it right here. Now flipped over so you'll see what I did. Well, originally, this is my rip sled. And what was nice is I put it on here, and it gave me a way longer, let me see if I can back up here, a much longer distance when it comes to ripping. And that was a big plus on my old table saw. I could rip really longer boards. Made it real easy, and I can, if for some reason I needed to slide it, I was able to slide it back and forth. I made two cuts in it, one for sliding back and forth, and which I use mostly this one, and then if I ever needed to turn the table around, it fit here. So it gave me a little bit extra room from whatever. So I got to play with it, but now it's kind of obsolete. So I literally have to cut it in half. And if I flip it over, let's see here. This is all it was. And these were just my little cutouts I did. I didn't have a router. Now that I have a router, I can route this on my new table saw sled. But basically I just took the saw and just cut it. Made a couple passes. You see how it wasn't perfect. But that's kind of where this thing came in handy. But it was this was my fence here, and see there's a hole, and then I don't know where my little screws went for it. Oh yeah, Here you go. And this is what I made. A little star. This is a 10 metric, 20 on the threads here. And so 10 metric on the size and 20 on the threads. And I got this so I could just hold it and turn. So it was just a cheap, expensive way to do this, and you know. So that's how it was put down, basically. Kind of, well, not like this, but I guess I'll show you guys. If you don't know anything about table saw sleds, but I'm sure you do. But this is just mine, and I made it out of reclaimed plywood, so it was free. I didn't have to pay $25 or $20 for 4x8 sheet, and then another $12 for a 1/4 inch sheet. You know, I mean, it's like sheets of plywood are expensive. I had it quick, so kind of like this. Washer went on. Well, there was 2 washers, one for the bottom, one for the top. Went like this, and then of course the fence came through here, and then I could just, you know, put it on, and then that's what gave me a good fence. Unfortunately, the fence was not straight, because that's also made from reclaimed plywood and I mean reclaimed wood. So, but I used it as a fence for my straight edge. So I put the fence on, and then I pushed up against a straight edge, and then clamped the straight edge along the fence so it doesn't move. But I think it's just better for me to use the straight edge and just clamp it down, I'm finding. Or I'll make another fence, probably out of metal this time instead of out of wood. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one or the other, and or both, and then cut it in half is my plan. So I'm going to only have half a slide here, which comes in handy sometimes. You know, you always. I didn't do it with my other one because I already made this, and so. But with this now, I don't have a choice. I got to make the best use of this. So let's see what I can do here. I'm going to try to get to the closest to the center, so I can get a full board. So I'm going to have to kind of look down here and see where I can make a cut. The length of where the slide is and where the miter guide, I don't know if you can see that right here, is almost the same. I just can't slip it in because the other side's not coming up. So I'm trying to figure out which one would work the best, what side to cut. That'd give me a clean cut on here. I have to turn it over, which is fine. And figure out which one's going to work the best. I think, no, that's not going to work. It does give me a clean cut, but I have to go through two cuts that I already made, which I don't want to do. Let me see here. How about this? This only goes through one cut, but it goes along the longest cut. Okay, which leaves me a cut here. All right, I know what I'm going to do. I decided to go along this way. It's going to give me a full cut, so I'll show you what's happening here. The blade is going to pop up here, and then the guide, there's a guide here, which I have the plywood fit into the guide right here. And so I'm going to have this little cut, and then the edge here. And the reason I did that is because I'll have a full edge here. Here to here with no cuts that I made from previous. And I can still use this when I line this up, when I line the guide on the bottom to the guide on the table. It's going to be a little bit further away, but that's alright because I think I can use it. So you'll see what I'm talking about here. And it's not too bad. Okay. So let me see here. Trying to figure out the best way to go about doing this without killing myself. Isn't that great? I think so too. All right. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and just turn the machine on, raise the knife, and see where it's cutting. So, hey, I get to finally use this for real. Use it for real, you know. Okay. I don't think I'll need a face shield, but, well, might as well. Got it. Why don't I use it? I'm a very handsome person, so I like to stay handsome. Just in case my wife dies or I divorce her or she divorces me, I can still have some play here, you know. I think I still have game, so catch me another woman if I need to. Okay. Alright, so I got my glasses on, I got my face shield on, so okay, it's on 0, so it should go up straight. And alright, let's turn it on. It's cutting. Okay, so that's where it's cutting. I probably need to raise it just a little bit more. The riving knife is still in there, so I didn't want to make sure the riving knife wasn't gonna hit up against it. So that's what I was a little concerned about, but it looks like it's not. So let's turn it back on and okay, I think it's at a high enough point where I'm pretty satisfied that it's high enough for me to take it through. So I'm just going to go ahead and just push it through, and then we'll see what happens. Alright. Ooh. Okay. Well, I got that side done. Let's see if I can get the other side. There we go. There we go. Okay. So. Alright. Just pull it. That's probably the best thing to do. I should probably have my earmuffs on because this thing's freaking loud. But what else is new, right? Okay. So y'all might want to turn down the volume when you listen to this. But you know that this is uncut, unedited, first-person view. Shouldn't be a surprise to you if you've seen my videos by now. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. I'm going to use this and this, of course, but the problem is that I already made my cut, so this part is pretty weak right here. So, you know, what can you do? At least I have one solid side that I can use. So that's kind of what I was looking for. That's why I did it this way. By the way, when it's popping out, I just push my knee to push it back in, which that's what I really like about this button here. Is before my other one used to be a flip switch. There's no way I could, with my knee, just tap onto it while I had both hands on this plywood to turn it off. This button's, I think, a much better design. So that's kind of what it looks like here. So I got 2 slides here, which fine. I'm happy with this, and you can see from the bottom here how it slides, and it's a little bit loose. The guides are a little bit wider than my last one, but you know what? I think overall I'm okay with it. It slides smoother. My last one was a little harder to slide, but it slid tight. But this one, I think overall, because of the length of this tabletop sled here, it will cut pretty accurate and pretty straight, and it's pretty smooth. I like it. it's going to be all right. And same thing for here. Of course, it's a lot of play here, but overall, I think if I just probably have to go ahead and do that then. Since it's on the blade, I'm going to run it through a couple times and just make sure it's going to cut straight here. So cover your ears here. Here I go. Okay, so one of the things I was looking at, I flipped it, so I want to see if it would still work if I flipped. And it would. It gives me a lot of room and space, you know, from the blade here, as you saw. And this side's just, I think this side's much better, actually, than this side, but that's all right. This side's long enough, and the blade will come out right here. So Question is, I've already cut so much here. I don't know how much of it's going to hold up or not. And the other thing is, now that this is cut in half, this just kind of, there's no point in having this. You see that? So that's what I noticed. This is not really safe to just leave this like that. So I'll probably have to cut these off, and so it's going to be a little bit shorter. That's all right, because I use these because they came that way. They're 44 inches going this way. That's what I just used, so I didn't have to cut it again. But this is going to be my new table saw here, so I might as well just go ahead and use it. There's nothing wrong with it. That's just, I'm just making do with what I have. And when and that's just what happened. I got a used table saw to see how much I would get into it. I got into it, liked it, and just got a new table saw, which just have different specs. And I'm trying to make my other, all the effort I put into making these table saw sleds work with this new one now. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Anyways, let's just make that hole and see what how much of it I want to work with. Okay, so I'll just put it right here in the middle. It should come somewhere in here, right in the middle. And I'm going to try to take it up as high as I can. The riving knife, the thing is, I still have the riving knife on this, and so it's probably going to, at some point, hit up against it. I'm eventually going to take that off. I'm not even going to use, obviously I'm not going to use the, the kickback paws or the, or this blade guard, so because I'm going to be using the table saw sled, most of the time anyway. But I'm going to have this around, it's good to have safety equipment, I guess. And as far as this push stick, it's alright. I mean, I'll use it if I need to. Same thing with the fence. I'm glad it's there. I'll need it if I need to. I'll use it if I need to. But most likely, right here, sorry, the fence is right here. Most likely I won't, because I made a fence that I like much better. Which is kind of that, but what I'm really going to do is I'm probably going to use my straight edge right here. And this is kind of, designed for that. The problem I had with my last one was when I made it, it's going to be shorter now, so when I clamp it, this is not going to get in the way. So I use my level as my straight edge, and because it is a straight edge, and what's nice is I can do a lot of different things with it. I can not only have it become my straight edge, but also I can angle it. I can angle it and make cove molding with my table sled, with my table saw, I should say. So I would raise the blade up, and then I would take the wood this way, and it makes a nice little cove mold. And I don't know if I have a sample of it here or not, but that's one of the things I did to make the whiteboard. Okay, I don't see a sample anywhere, so that's another thing I can do with it. There's using this as a fence, because it also goes as long as, let's do a comparison of the fence that I got and the fence that I'm going to be modifying this table to be using. And you know, it's almost 1, 2, a little bit over twice the length here, and it helps. It just, makes it that more, your cuts that more accurate, in my opinion. And I know most of you, if you got a table saw, you most likely got a level. You most likely got a level. There's no doubt. This is my fence, and I just clamp it down. So, and as far as my push stick, this is my push stick. This works really good, and because how long it is, as I'm pushing it, I can just push it to the edge and just let it kind of control the drop. This one here, just, just the angle on it's kind of, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, I just like it because it's much longer and it'll hold something to the edge where you need it, and then you can just control drop it, for example, like this, and then you could just take it all the way to the edge, all the way to the edge, all the way to the edge, especially on longer boards, and then you can just control drop. And especially if it's longer, you can just, let it just move out of the way of the blade. So, anyways, and I didn't have to buy expensive equipment. This is kind of, stuff I already have. That's my point. This is stuff I already have. I didn't have to buy a very expensive accessory to get a straight cut, or get a very good straight cut, or a decent straight cut. Didn't have to buy a very expensive table saw. I see some of these very, cabinet grade table saws, they go for a couple $1,000s. I don't have a couple $1,000s that I want to spend, I should say. Let me phrase that. I don't have a couple $1,000s that I want to spend to cut a piece of wood or plywood. I have a couple $100 that I would like to spend, and with that couple $100, or under a couple $100, I want to make the most of it. So that's what I'm doing. So let's cut this up. Let's get that center piece in there, and we'll start cutting that up here, and we'll get a center. The blade come out of the center right here, and that way, I'll have something that maybe I can put on top of this to make cuts with. I'm gonna see if I could. I'll start small. I'm gonna go ahead and start small, and then if I can, I want to see how well it handles, because it seems like the more you cut it, the more it moves on you. See, this is already moving on me. So let's see how it does here. Put my face mask on, and we're going. So you probably want to put the volume down. It's going to get loud. Wow. That was looks like I didn't have the blade all the way down, and imagine if I didn't have a face mask and the blade was touching the plywood, and I turned it on, and it would have smacked me right in the face. Man, I wouldn't be pretty anymore. I'd be one ugly dude. So always I guess as you're all witness to it, it's always good to be safe. Anyways, it's blade's all the way down now. I'm going to have to judge where I want it to put it. Okay, so. Alright, let me see here. The riving knife was going to come up or not. Oh. Okay. So, yeah, the riving knife was going to start to come up. I felt some pressure here. So, okay. So that's about how high I'm going to probably keep it right there. High as I can go anyway, until I can get a further cut that allows the riving knife to actually go through this, I hope. Okay, so excuse me, it's a little dusty here now. Well, I'm going to use this mostly for ripping, so I think this is probably as most as I want to go right here. Just give it enough play. There we go, it's on it. Okay, so it just gets enough play to see if it moves around a little bit, but other than that, I mean, I want it kind of in the middle. And that's fine. I'll get to use at least half of this anyway, which is this half anyway. So, and it doesn't, kind of goes a little bit to the edge here, a little bit over, which is fine. So I gotta figure out how to clamp it down here, which I'll figure something out. So. Okay, so I guess I can make the best use of this. It's just another jig, another table saw sled that's going to be, used for that purpose. So that's fine. It's all about, making the most of what you got, especially if you don't have that much. There we go. This has a little bit more lift to the edge, which is fine. Maybe I could clamp something on here, clamp something onto it, and then still be able to slide it through. That's another thing I was had a problem with my last table saw sled. I made this go to just to the edge, and the problem was I could have done so much more if I was able to clamp the piece to the table saw sled, but I wasn't able to because I made it just to the edge. Now this is coming out. I might be able to clamp something here and make a cut. Let's see. That's long enough, yeah. So let's just giving you an example for whatever reason, but like I had something that I needed to cut like this for whatever reason. So I need I got all these clamps. Let's use them. So now I can not quite as long as I wanted to, but it's good enough to do what I want. So like this here. Here, see? Now I can clamp to this edge to keep it straight, and then make my cut. So it's I probably want to keep my hand on it, but at least I got some kind of something to hold it there at least, so I can make my cut with it. So let's see how that works out. Put my face shield on, and it's going to get louder, so you might want to turn it down here. Okay, so if you've seen my previous video on the setup of this, you know that this was not the original, this is the exchange, and it is so critical that the blade lines up with the guides, or else I couldn't have made this whatever cut. Let me see if I pull it out backwards, if it slides through, see how close it was. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's pretty spot on, if you ask me. That's really good. So, if you saw my review on this, I said this table saw was good, leaning towards fair. So now with this sled, all of a sudden, it is now an excellent table saw. I mean, you could start really making some excellent cuts with this. And even though this is just a 40 tooth blade, the one I had before was an 80 tooth blade. Even with this 40 tooth blade, you can still make pretty nice smooth cuts here, as you see. So there you go. This is a piece of plywood here, scrap piece of plywood. Yeah. So with the table saw sled, this is now an excellent table saw. And I mean, you've seen the challenges I had with this particular blade here, with the previous table saw, and then even with the current one, because you know it's not the table is not level. It rocks. But now, and I'm looking for my square here. Okay. Yes, it's pretty square. Let me get the other one. This is a little bit narrower, so I could get in between the, get into the gullet here, and that way I can measure up to the blade. And it's could be because of the no, that's right on. Look at that. That is right on. That is amazing. It is just it's a little bit, but not by much. That is just okay. I just greatly improved it. Let's see here on this side. This is all the way to the edge of it. So get into that gullet too. Yeah, this is right on right here. This side was the side that I chose to make the blade level to. So this is, of course, is assuming that this plywood's flat. It's going to be right on here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any issues whatsoever on this side here. This side's slight, just slight. Just slightly, because I feel as I wiggle it, I'm feeling that there's no resistance on the top, so there's a little tiny gap space here. But other than that, I mean, it looks just right on dead. So, all right. So, if you choose to get this table saw, I mean, any table saw sled will greatly improve the accuracy and safety, in my opinion, more safe than I think some of the safety features that it supposedly comes with that makes it safe. If anything, it seems like it gets in the way of your cut, then make it safe for you. But hey, whatever works. So, anyways, that's what I was going to do today. Somewhat related to an update to the table saw, but a little bit different. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was very informative. Just to show you can take any table saw, you know, a crappy one, a really expensive one, and if you just make a sled with it, it greatly improves, especially for the lower end table saws. It greatly improves the cut, the accuracy. So you know, hope this helps, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned to other episodes that are coming, and enjoy. Bye.